All right. So, Kyle, tell me what last week in active addiction was like.
My last week I'd become unemployable. So I was working for a tree trimming service because, there's no drug test or anything like that. And they had this big dump trailer and they didn't have anything to pull it with. So that's how I came about with that job, because I have this diesel truck. So all I did was cut up some small branches and fill up the trailer and go dump it. So that way, I could have a whiskey bottle with me and a bowl. So I was doing that for about 2 weeks. And the last week it got bad. I hadn't slept in 3 or 4 days and was still drinking, running that trailer back and forth. And I hit a mailbox. I'd unhooked the trailer and I hit a mailbox. And I saw the lady on her porch that I'd hit the mailbox, and she jumped up. I don't know if it startled her, if she was mad or whatever. But I left, of course, because I'm messed up. And as I got down the road, I felt bad about it, because I'm a nice guy down deep. And I turned around to go and fix that mailbox. And as I was fixing it, the police came. And
What'd they do?
oh, I was arrested on the spot. That I did the field sobriety test and passed them all but one. And he wanted me to take a blood test, and I said no. And he was like, well, I'm just going to get a warrant. I mean, you're going to end up having to take it. And I was like, well, let's go. And he was like, you don't seem that intoxicated to me. So you might be all right, but, you did fail the one where they do the eye or whatever. And he said, you've been very cooperative and everything. I think everything's going to be fine. And then the results came back, and it was just off the charts. My tolerance was so high that I could talk, but when I shouldn't have been. The DA was very upset over that.
I bet.
That I should have been passed out, not carrying on a conversation.
Yeah, it probably made her, or him, or her. It could be fearful that people operate like that just in regular society,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
or fear for their families or people they love or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
So you went to jail?
I went to jail. I didn't bond out. I was there 7 months. And
Was it your first time?
no,
No. Okay.
no. So I had been before. The first time I was arrested for DUI, it didn't scare me. It didn't. It probably did at the moment, but not enough to not do it again. And then I was arrested a second time, and that one scared me a little bit. But the third time, now I'm looking at some. So the third time was 2018. And I took recovery court, drug court, to lower the time and all that. And went to treatment, went to MAG. And got a sponsor, got into an Oxford house. And for some reason, when I got out of treatment, I didn't go straight back. There was something in the paperwork, whatever. I didn't have to go straight back to drug court. And so I walked in when I did report, just all happy. Look, I'm in an Oxford house and I've got a sponsor and I'm going. He said, that's all great. You can't do any of it. You have to come back to Greene County. You have to live in Greene County, work in Greene County. It's the rules. So I went back to Greene County. I didn't get to stay at the Oxford house. I kept the sponsor and would travel as much as I could. And so I'm wearing this ankle monitor where I can't drink, and I'm having drug tests, almost every day. And I'm going to meetings that are required. And I'm really reading this book, getting in, because I got to fit in wherever I go, right? Whether it's the bar or the AA meeting, whatever. And I was miserable. You know, I just played the part because I loved people telling me how proud they were of me, right? You know, you're sober, you're doing great, you're going to these meetings, when I was just planning a relapse. I knew the day I was going to get off that. And I was off to the races again. And that time was worse. And then my best friend, my brother, this was 3 years ago, I guess. He lost his son to an overdose and knew how bad I was and came to me and said, you know, I've lost my son. Don't make me lose you too. Get in the truck. And he dropped me off at MAG again. And I thought I was willing that time. I made it about, I don't know, 5 months or so. Got another sponsor, good one, in Greenville. And ended up lying to him, showing up to a meeting drunk. He's, are you drinking? Have you been drinking? I'm like, no, man, are you crazy? I'm at an AA meeting. Of course I've not been drinking. Are you crazy? Of course he knew I was. And he said, why don't you just go on home and call me? And I went home and never called him back.
And when did that happen?
That was 2 years ago.
Okay.
2 years ago. And I never called him back. And never went to another meeting. And then was arrested. And this time, this was a felony DUI this time. And because the third offense, just because and I beat a couple in the meantime too. I've been arrested for 7, but was charged with my 4th this time. And it was felony. So I didn't want a felony, obviously. I was like, what can I do? And I had a public defender I couldn't afford because I'm unemployable now, right? I'm just working for whatever to get high and get drunk, you know, all that. That's where that money goes.
Yeah.
And and I every time I got out of treatment, my mother is not well, and I can't go to a recovery program. I can't be up here. I have to go home
Take
and care of mom. And what that looks like is me sitting in the basement with a jug of liquor and rolling a bowl. That's taking care of mom, right? So I did that again, and that's when I got him. So in jail this time, moving forward, I'm jumping around.
No, it's fine.
I've lost my house. I've lost everything. I was successful at one time. I burned all that down. And none of it I never saw anything as unmanageable, you know? But this time, when I went to jail, my daughter quit talking to me. And that's never happened. We're a very tight family. And even through all that, we remained tight, remained close. And she quit talking to me. And that was my rock bottom. Not losing everything, but one of my children not speaking to me. So I was like, okay, I'm starting to get a little willing. And so I went to the DA, my public defender, and said, what about treatment? If I go to treatment and I do whatever I can to get this from felony down to a misdemeanor. I'm not worried about the time I have to serve or anything like that. I just don't want a felony. So she takes it to the DA and they say yes, that they will, if I go to treatment, but they were talking like one of these live-in,
Yeah.
a long time treatment. And I was like, nah, I'm not willing to. And again, use my mother. I was like, my mother's ill. I can't be moving away. And I was like, how about a 28-day Mag Ridge? I've been there before. I'm familiar with it. And then IOP for however long. And the DA agreed. So I end up back in Mag. And this time I am willing. And I'm familiar with the rooms. I'm familiar with treatment. And I just never was willing or honest or, every time I get to a 4-step, I'm out. I bounce. I don't know that. No, I'm not going to do that, So this time I get out, I get a sponsor, and I change. I'm willing. So I'm not court ordered to be in sober living. I chose to because I know going back, and my mom, having to go back and be with my mom was off the table because I'd been locked up 7 months and she was fine. My
You can't use that as an excuse.
no, my sister
Yeah.
steps in, and she's actually enjoying my sister being there more than me. My sister's retired, so they go and piddle around and do whatever all day, and so I call my buddy that taken me to treatment previously and tell him, and he was like, "That's awesome, man." And I tell my sister, I'm like, "If you don't mind, if you can stay." She was like, "Please, please." So my kids are happy. So this time I have hit rock bottom. My daughter's still not talking to me. So while I'm in treatment, she graduates college. I miss it. And even if I'd have gone, it would have been not good. It would have turned to me somehow. And then when I get out, I'm going, and now I'm in sober living, right? Of course she's going to answer now, right? Look at me. And she doesn't.
Yeah. Most people, they say, and perhaps even myself at times, but don't want to have the honest self-assessment that it takes to be in recovery. Essentially, people want to get the job back, the girl back, or the car, whatever, the
Right.
record, the country music record backwards. But something happens in between that idea and the experience of living in recovery, provided there's enough time and honesty and, of course, willingness.
Right.
What have you felt like you've stumbled into with your life currently?
It's different, but in a very good way. The structure, I definitely needed that, and just being surrounded with like people at all times. It's very nice to an example. I don't have much trouble talking about big problems that I have. It's when I have that off day and I don't have a reason to be off. Nothing's happened. I'm not angry. But something's not right. And I came home one day and a housemate was like, "What's up? You're not being you. Let's talk about it." I was like, "I'm fine." Because I have nothing to talk about, right? I don't have this concrete, this happened and I feel this way.
Yeah, you may not even know yourself.
Yeah, I'm just off. And just by him doing that, and finally he was like, "No, something's up." And I was like, "Yeah, but I don't know what it is." And by the time the conversation was over, I was like, I don't even remember what, I'm fine, and just talking and having that. And I think just a lot of people willing around me. I'm in a great house.
It like motivates you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And just, I don't know, I like where I'm at. I'm happy for the first time in a long time.
That's something to be said for that, for sure. Like the freedom that comes along with
Yes. The freedom
allowing.
I've worked these steps and I have lost the obsession. And that is freedom. I mean, that is straight up freedom. I never have been, even though I was court ordered and everything, I did put 2 years together of sobriety and was miserable the entire time. That obsession was just, that's all I wanted. And now, I'm not naive. It could come,
Yeah.
I have to work this program. But what freedom. What freedom.
Yeah, indeed. Especially if you're experiencing it for the first time.
Yes, absolutely.
After believing it's not possible.
Right.
Like myself.
Yeah.
Included, yeah. What do you find you're most excited for in your life today?
Watching my kids grow up is fantastic. I mean, they're adults now, but they're still, watching their successes, and they're killing it. And I love it. I love it because, I was successful at one time, but for all the wrong reasons, and then I burn it all down. But to watch them That's fantastic. And to be able to be present for it. And, my son's raced motocross for years, and we're very close because of that. But, I wouldn't drink or anything while he was racing because things happened too fast. I could maintain
Yeah.
for the few hours that he was on the track. That was like a big feat for me.
Yeah.
But as soon as he got off, I was off to the races. So I was present physically, but that's
Emotionally,
about it.
mentally,
Yeah,
spiritually. Wow.
gone. And to be there for their successes now.
Are there any emotions you encounter today that are, I don't know, different than what you thought they were originally?
I don't get angry as much. Just feeling emotions is different. I mean, because I didn't, I was just numb. So realizing that I can be happy, I can be sad, I can be mad, that's because I didn't feel any of that. I just wanted to be numb. I didn't want to feel anything at all. That was the point, Partying used to be fun, and now it's just to maintain.
It's weird how that happens. It's like boiling a frog.
Boiling a frog?
It's kind of how it happens, where it goes from being fun to a necessity.
Yeah.
Partying or dope in that
Yeah.
way.
Just to maintain.
Yeah. So moving on with your life, you just picked up a year. Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. So what do you got on the horizon? What's coming up for you?
So talking to Craig and Tabitha, in association with them. So fishing all my life. I fished all my life, guided. Looking at, starting, and it's ground level right now, but recovery-based fishing.
Okay.
Fly tying, fly casting, trips on the river, outings. I mean, the sky's the limit. We're right here. I'd like to see it get.
Oh yeah, ideally, right? Hey, I'm with you. And if there's two professions that probably closest to God, I guess it would have to be carpentry and fishing.
Right.
So can't go wrong.
No.
Thank you for doing this.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, man.